Good afternoon, traders. 20th of May, Thursday afternoon, and probably not a whole lot to say. Yet again, the market just showing you its ability to bounce off a significant level and just accelerate yet again back into the bull. It's almost as if pretty much where we started off this whole analysis at the beginning of the week. You are right back at all the MAs that we talked about earlier. And in fact, we're taking them out as we speak. But I think I'll let a show take a quick look at this. And I'll be really brief today because there's really not much to say. Um, this is another excellent bounce off the 50 MA with a great buying opportunity down there. And you can just see the significance of those moving averages to the big money. Sorry about the noise in the background. Take a look at the NASDAQ. This is probably going to be the key moving forward. The difference between our rally stalling before was the NASDAQ not being able to take off. And they generally lead to some extent, although they are much thinner. And they're pretty much on on deck to take off. You can see they're tapping out their looks like they're 9 MA now after struggling with the 18 and the 50. But they found their ground and they're starting to build. The Dow's there as well. I mean, we're right back where all that support was originally at the beginning of the week was 34.1 before we started chipping into that gap fill and then eventually filling out both gap fills. Like I said before, uh, yet again, there's another one underneath us, but don't get too consumed by it. It could be a while before we get to it, unless on Monday and Tuesday they open up lower and decide to take it out for unfinished business to build back to the upside. This is just kind of typical how this has been playing out, guys, for a really long time. I mean, I can't be. I mean, you could take a look at this chart, and I'm not going to get too specific, but yeah, I want you to this is the 50 right here. And just take a look at how price has reacted to it. Kind of pinched it. Actually, we tried to challenge it here to the 100, but we couldn't. And just look at how price accelerated from this moving average. The market will not give that area up. And you can just see here when we had that huge sell off in October, and we actually got to the 100. I thought we actually got to the 200, but maybe not. This I think down here was the. Let me see. Yep, that was a 200. We did that last year, last June actually. It's about a year ago when we made that low. At the end of the day, it's what I'm trying to emphasize is the importance of these moving averages, and they're always important, whether you're on a daily chart, a 15-minute chart, a 30-minute chart, whatever chart you use to trade. So we're probably going to be back in that trading range, and you're going to want to pay attention to these MAs again. On probably tomorrow. As it just amazes me how we tend to sell off in the beginning of the week. It takes care of all that downside business. They find a bottom on Wednesday, and then they rail them to the end of the week. It's almost uncanny how often they do it. So you know what? Once again, we're still in the bull trend, and it's accelerating yet again. So look for your opportunities to the upside when they present themselves. I mean, I haven't made a trade today, so there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can. It all depends on how you like to trade. I told you before in past videos that if I don't get what I want, and I'm just not going to trade it. I'm not going to chase the market, and you can pretty much see that this thing opened up higher. I mean, in fact, I believe there was a 40 handle rally right out of the gate from I think it took off at about 7, if I'm not mistaken. And this is what you always have to pay attention to, and you got to understand when the market is flexing its muscles, it's fairly obvious. I mean, look at this push at 7. Actually, it started at about 5 in the morning. I mean, obviously, I would have loved this trade, but it bottomed out right here, red the blue, and this is a big number, and you can see for here. Let me just show you because And this is why the market never had wanted nothing to do with those lows. Because take a look, the 50 has rammed all the way up to 40.80, and you can see yesterday we made two bottoms down there after we sold off and rallied, and overnight they tried one last time, stopped at a dime, and they stopped on a dime because that's a big number, and they gave us no part of it this morning. They just look at this rally from 40.86 all the way up to 41.63. That's 80 handles in, God, 3 4 hours. I mean, my God. And this is how, I mean, you just have to be wise about your trading and don't get caught up. I mean, this. There's what you can do. They're just taking it and ramming it. And like I said, not much to trade. They gapped. There's a gap now between I think 25. Where's 830? Look at this. I mean, unless you're going to just jump on it and buy it at 830, which wouldn't make sense at all because I mean, you're into a at this stage of the game almost a 435 handle rally. So I mean, you really can't do much until you get to R1, and right in here, you would be looking for reversal. In fact, I think that was the 18 MA on the around 30. I think that's around 31. I mean, if the market was going to reverse, it would have done it from there. And I think what basically they did is they just said, not today. And you can see right here, they couldn't get underneath 26. And this is just an outlier day to the upside. That's an R1 reversal going up. At this stage, I just don't feel like I'm not really interested in the trade. I mean, trend traders would be all over this. Sometimes, like I said, it's not preferable. I would rather have had something down around a pivot, but I'm not chasing this rally. I mean, look at this move. Oh my God. At 9:30, they went from 38 to the highs of the day, a 30 handle rally on top of the 40 they gave you from 7 o'clock. And this would have been a trade to take. I walked away from the computer. I just really didn't care at this point. That's red to blue. That's an advisable trade. You know, I mean, your 60 handles market it's got to give back something. So, you know, there it is, right there, right in here. That would have been your short right in there around probably around 60, 40, 41.60 or better. And this was like I said. Remember that 41.55 to 65 pocket of moving averages, which have come down, and that's where we topped out a little bit. Enough was enough for then, and it was actually a pretty good breakdown. That was about a 20 handle break. So you can still see that there's still a good counter trend trade. If you're patient enough to wait 60 handles to take a short, then God bless you. You should get 20 handles. And the market just held up at 45 and just, now they're just building right back up. So, this is back into a bull trend and it's accelerating yet again. So, I don't know how this is going to play out tomorrow, guys. I'm not going to be posting tomorrow. I'm done for the week. I usually take off Fridays. I'd watch your moving averages as usual early. I mean, if like I said earlier in the week, if the market is truly going to be building, it's not going to go any further than the moving averages. And right now, I don't know all your levels are going to come up substantially. I don't even know right now where the pivot could come all the way up to 50. It all depends on how we settle, but I really don't know. So you're gonna have to see how the levels play out at the close. You'll see them at that point. So that's it for this week, guys. I hope you guys trade well. I hope you guys see the importance of trading from the moving averages, how to pay attention to price at the value locations, take advantage of the signals, and always make sure you got momentum and confirmation going in your favor when you make your trades. Like I said, this is right back where we all started from. So you can pretty much take the early analysis from the early in the week and just put it right back in play for tomorrow's trade. And hopefully you guys do well. Hope you guys did really good this week. And if you really like what you see, once again, you can reach out to me at mlbino at AOL.com. I also have more videos on YouTube. I've done some live presentations as well. Um, and if you guys have any questions, you'd like to talk about it, and or have ideas for your own personal trading style, reach out to me. I could give you some suggestions, and I can work with you. That's ideally what I'm looking to do in the long run. I like to establish some type of connection with traders and work out some strategy based trading for them on based on their particular you know trading for setups. So feel free to reach out and have a great weekend. I hope you guys do well tomorrow. I hope you guys did well this week. I mean, when you get breakdowns like that, you have to take advantage of them when you get them, because the opportunities and the probabilities become so great that you could really make a lot of money on breakout trades like that. We could fall right back into a digestive trade and probably build back to the upside. I mean, this is pretty significant bounce. This is the second time they did it. So, we're going to have to see how whether or not this market wants to go back and challenge all their highs. I mean, we're not really that far. You're only 70 handles in the EAS. The Dow's a good thousand away from their highs, so they might be a little more challenged. We'll just have to see. But like I said, what really is important, and I think, because I always like to key on what the Nasdaq's doing, and the Nasdaq was the key to the breakdown, and I said they had their issues, and now they're trying to show signs of they've been due, they've been taking a hit, so they've been due. In fact, what's their contract high? 14, let's call it 14.1. So they're back on sector 5 as well. So all markets look like they want to take off again. So we'll just see. They got to prove it. At the end of the day, they got to prove it. So have a great weekend. This is MR Strategy signing off for the week. You guys take care of yourself.